everyone, welcome back to another episode of Coffee Corner. Today, let's talk about emotional stability. I know it's been a while, and in last episode I promised I was gonna update very frequently, but then of course I broke my promise. I will stop making promises that I can't keep. Anyway, so remember we had a post before. We voted what kind of topics you guys wanted to listen to, and the first one was about marriage and relationship, and the second one, of course, is going to be our emotional stability. This topic is actually really important for me because I'm not that kind of person with emotional stability, of course. My mood swings, and sometimes I just kind of, have mental breakdown. And that's why I've read some articles about how to become a person with emotional stability. And of course, why people like me who have emotional instability. So that's why I want to talk about it. And I hope this episode is somewhat, beneficial for you. And before we get started, let me ask you a question. Are you the person that is very emotionally stable or the opposite? So let me know what kind of person you are. So first, from the article I read before, it says when you are emotionally unstable and you're actually because you have some bad mental habits. I never thought about that. Then I started to process that kind of information. I realized that is really true. A lot of things is about how you react, how you deal with the negative emotions or the terrible situations or any kind of thing that really affect your emotions, and how you respond to that right away. That creates the person, whether you are emotionally stable or not. So first thing is very interesting. It's believe how you feel. So it doesn't matter how you feel, you think that is the true thing. That is the truth that you're gonna take in. And sometimes how we feel is very what is the word? Subjective, right? So you can't really trust. I feel sad doesn't mean this thing is bad. I feel sad could be that it's painful to start a project, or it's painful to, start an assignment. And of course I feel sad, or I can't go outside because I have, work to do, or I need to take care of the baby. But that doesn't make taking our baby or doing a homework a bad thing. And when I react to that first thing, I will blame the project. So I will blame that I have to take care of the baby, or I will blame that I have a lot of things to do. And then I will get very irritated and I will start to kind of get anxious. So basically how I feel kind of works me up. So that is why I sometimes have very what's the word? I don't really have patience for things I want to do, and I feel really, really terrible about that. And thinking about the feelings is what I really have. That even makes everything worse. So that is the first thing. Second thing is you try to focus on the feelings or emotions rather than values. So let's just say, well, you know what? Procrastination is one of the best examples for this point. And so I do have a lot of work to do regarding an article, but I've been avoiding it for probably a month, and then that makes me feel even worse. So of course, avoiding it or trying to not accomplish the work makes me feel really good in a short term, right? So right now I'm not doing that. I feel happy. I'm watching TV. I'm scrolling my phone. I'm playing with Bob. All sorts of stuff make me very happy right at this moment. But that's dangerous because you are enjoying the moment, but you forget that you have to finish that. And finishing that is very important to you because you can get better or bigger benefits. Okay. So means you didn't look at the whole thing in a bigger picture. So you're looking at that as a burden. You don't want to do it. So for me, I'm definitely that person. I have to remind myself that you just really gotta sit down and head down and just get that done. I would tell myself tomorrow, but definitely not today. Anyway, so think about, wow, you know what? And you're watching TV, you're binge watching everything, to avoid the real task. But the thing is, you're not getting everything done, and you didn't see the true value because you focus on how you feel right at that moment. So you're kind of being blinded by the current pleasure. That is dangerous, as I said before. Or staying in bed makes you feel really good. Of course, but you forget there are other things that are more important to you, and then you don't want to pick it up. And another example can be that you have an argument with friends or with your spouse, and then you kind of let a sarcasm fly through the whole argument. Well, it makes you feel really good because let's say you say F word, you say B word, and you're trying to be like, I told you this, this, this. So you're just trying to let all the emotions and feelings, negative ones, out to hurt the person, but you didn't think about how to really maintain a healthy relationship during your argument because you care about what you feel or how you feel right at this moment without thinking about what about your relationship with your spouse or friends. So those kind of things is you really focus on the feelings rather than values. When you think about how to deal with that, you're going to have to think about, okay, I'm going to start to build my good habit to respond to the negative situation. So if I have to finish work, and of course, I want to relax, I want to enjoy the weather, especially if spring is finally coming here, then I have to tell myself, you know what, for longer term of benefits, I really need to get that done so I can have, I can have more time to enjoy the nice weather. If I don't do that, then I get anxious, I get upset, then eventually I will feel like I hate the whole world, right? During an argument, same thing. So you want to sit down and calm down and then talk or communicate. That's the best word to say during an argument. You want to communicate ideas, share your feelings, not yelling your feelings out, right? So that is important. So you're seeing the whole conversation, seeing the whole relationship as the core value rather than I need to make myself feel good right now, this moment. But remember, once the word's out, it's out. You can't take it back. So you have to be careful with that. And also, once you get that done and you get something accomplished, then you feel really good. And that kind of good feeling is not going to vanish. But same thing with the negative feelings. If you don't do that, you're trying to avoid it, ignore it, and then you're going to feel the same way, which is anxious, nervous, upset, and just can't sit down. Those kind of feelings are not going to go away anyway, and it will stay with you. Even though you're trying to avoid it, you might have a short time of pleasure, but afterwards, you still have all the negative feelings and emotions. So you have to think about or prioritize or weigh which part matters more to you. So that is the other thing. Third one is needing to find a meaning in everything. That is me. I feel like, I always try to look for meaning in everything. I want to know why am I doing this, why this is important. And if I can't find a meaning in that thing and it makes me really mad, I feel like I'm doing nothing. So but remember, not everything has a meaning. Sometimes you just have to do it. So in that article, it says looking for meaning in everything is a sign of you feeling uncertain. Right? So if you're not sure about doing that thing, then you want to find a meaning to support yourself. But finding meaning to support yourself is more like a crutch to lift you up and light you up, right? But you don't know. That gives you a feeling, gives your bring a signal that you don't have ability to handle things other than using finding meaning approach. Nothing wrong with that. Sometimes you do have to find a meaning in some things to convince yourself, to persuade yourself to really do it so you can have motivation. But you just have to remember you can't go extreme. You don't want to go extreme to say I'm gonna find every meaning, everything, so I can do it. It's more like an OCD kind of thing, right? And it will be really hard for people to make decisions, like because why, I want to make this decision, but first of all, I have to find meaning in that thing. But what if you can't? But still, that decision is important to you. then you just feel like you're going to explode. And that's one of the reasons that you're going to have emotional instability. People who want to look for meaning in everything mostly are raised in a kind of environment full of uncertainty. They're just not sure, and everything is chaotic, and they can't handle that. So you're trying to use meaning as a string to kind of sew everything together, and that's how your life works in that kind of environment. I can't say that I was raised in a chaotic environment, but I definitely feel like I'm that kind of person. I need to make sure everything is on the right track. But if it's not, then I'm going to say, well, what is the meaning doing this? As long as I have the meaning in that thing, then I start to like, oh, maybe I should do it. But again, back to what I said before, not everything has a meaning. So when you can't find that, don't freak out. So I don't know if you like uncertainty, but I definitely don't. I like everything is planned out, so I can follow the schedule, follow a step, and accomplish that. When something has changed, then that really freaks me out. Then I will start, okay, you can't do that to me. Try to avoid uncertainty by giving meaning to everything. I can't say is a lot of people would do, but I definitely do that. Some of my friends definitely want to do that. But the problem is when the things are small, minor, and it may work, but when the things getting bigger and bigger, and then we're just trying to use a simple way to handle that, and then eventually it's gonna just explode because you can't just simplify everything by giving meaning to everything. And once you can't, then of course, again, I want to mention this word freak out. So think about this. You exercise, you get muscles. You don't exercise, you don't have muscles. You want to train your brain to be very strong to handle a lot of difficult situations, but you have to use tough ways, tough approaches to train your brain, right? If you don't train it, you're giving your brain a signal that, oh, this is the only way I can handle that, which is a very simple way. So your brain is not working to toughen up. So your brain will think, well, this is the level of my tolerance. And once everything passes that level of tolerance, you're gonna, have a malfunction, right? That's how you kind of gave your brain a signal or message saying that I'm really tough, I can handle that. Then you can maintain emotional stability. But once you say I'm really weak, I can't really do that, and then you're telling your brain, yeah, don't work too hard. If it's too hard, you just tell me like you're gonna break down. If you are always choosing the simple way to do that, you're never gonna really, toughen up your brain. Remember, I had one episode talking about also mental health or something. I forgot OCPD or something. Like you always want to control everything. You want to set schedule. You want people to follow your instructions because you believe your instructions are the optimal one. And then if people don't do that, you feel like, remember my anxiety came from that and I had to quit that job and find a new job. So that is something I want to talk about emotional stability. One of the bad habits is, you're trying to control everything. So like what I said about giving everything a meaning is a signal of avoiding uncertainty. Try to, control everything is a signal of, you being or you're feeling helpless, you feel insecure. So you want to make sure everything is under the control, then you don't have to worry about it or something else unexpected that are going to happen. So that is for me, that's definitely true. I really want to, but I'm not a control freak. But if this is my assignment, this is my way to do things, or this is my project, I want to make sure everything is under control. But again, life is full of unexpected situations or occasions or anything, and you can't really control that. So that is really a bad habit to have when you have something up that is not planned. And then for me, I always get nervous and sometimes I want to poop. So that is something I have to work on, and I have to tell myself that you have when something is up there that is not planned or that is unexpected, you have to think about what is the first response to it, not your feelings, not your emotions. Is you have to look at the thing and figure out a solution to it right away. Either you have a solution or you don't, but you're gonna have to tell yourself it is okay because life is full of unexpected things. So those are bad habits you should not have to maintain your mental health, especially regarding emotional stability. So I don't know if those tips are helpful or not because I didn't really share how to maintain emotional stability. The reason I didn't share that because I don't even know. I'm still working on it. All those bad habits make me aware of what I have and how I respond to the situations that I'm trying to avoid. I will tell myself first step is to really face it, really recognize it and work on it. And then second, I will figure out a solution to those kind of situations. Imagine if something happens like that, how would I respond? So you're going to have to really put yourself in that scenario and figure out a thing. And then next step is when you are in the real situation, and then you can start to practice. It might not succeed in the first round, but you gotta keep trying, right? Until you figure out your own way to deal with your emotions. There's no one fits all kind of solution, and you just have to find something useful and read it, digest it, and customize that according to your own situation and start from that. I wish I could be like Bob because he always seems very calm, but I'm definitely not. And that is why during my postpartum, I had depression. So it's getting better. I'm also learning a lot of things. And I also tell myself, everything is normal. It's just very unexpected. So that's everything about this topic. I hope you like it. If you really like it, please give a thumbs up and other things you can figure out. So next topic, I'm planning to do snap judgments. So you can do a little bit of research on snap judgments if you want to be part of that. And also I'm thinking about some topic like why do people feel embarrassed? I'm on the article about that kind of topic, but I just need to find time and do that. Remember, do not avoid what you're supposed to do. Otherwise, you're going to feel really terrible. Anyway, I hope you liked this episode and see you next time. Take care.